The crimson warning lights bathed the Galactic Defense Council's command center in an ominous glow as Admiral Zethkar's 4 eyes darted between the tactical displays. The Voidborn fleet stretched across the holographic projection like a metallic plague, their obsidian ships advancing through the outer rim systems with methodical precision. Each conquered world fell silent, its population either enslaved or consumed by the ancient enemy that had emerged from the dark spaces between galaxies.
How many systems have we lost?
Zethkar's chitinous voice clicked with barely contained desperation. 17 in the past solar cycle, replied Commander Vexiana, her serpentine form coiled around her command console. At this rate, the core worlds will be within striking distance in less than a standard month. Jackson Chen stood quietly in the corner of the war room, his human form seeming almost fragile among the towering alien commanders. As Earth's sole representative to the Galactic Defense Council, he had watched his new allies' confidence crumble with each passing day. The united fleets of 12 species had been systematically dismantled by an enemy that seemed to anticipate every strategy, counter every tactic. The Koranian heavy cruisers couldn't even scratch their hulls, muttered General HFY, his massive fists clenching. Our plasma cannons are useless. Our shields collapse under their dark energy weapons. We're fighting with primitive tools against beings that mastered warfare before our civilizations learned to make fire. Lily Rodriguez, the human communications specialist, looked up from her station where she had been monitoring subspace frequencies. Her dark eyes met Jackson's across the room, and he saw the same grim determination that had carried humanity through countless dark moments in their history. Admiral, Jackson stepped forward, his voice cutting through the defeatist murmurs. Has the Council considered that perhaps you've been approaching this war the wrong way? Zethkar's compound eyes focused on the human with a mixture of curiosity and irritation. Enlighten us, Representative Chen. Your species has been part of galactic civilization for barely 50 years. What could you possibly understand about warfare on this scale? Jackson moved to the central holo table, his fingers dancing across the control interface. You're fighting like civilized beings. You're following the established rules of engagement, using predictable formations, trying to minimize casualties. But the Voidborn aren't civilized. They're apex predators who've spent eons perfecting the art of conquest. And what do you suggest? Commander Vexiana hissed. That we abandon our principles and become monsters ourselves? No, Lily interjected, joining Jackson at the holotable. He's suggesting we fight like humans. The room fell silent as the two humans began manipulating the tactical display. Jackson pulled up historical files from Earth's archives, projecting images of ancient battles, guerrilla warfare, and tactical innovations that had shaped human military doctrine. Every species here developed within the galactic community, Jackson explained. You learned warfare as a tool of politics, a means to an end with rules and limitations. But humans? We evolved in isolation. For millennia, war wasn't politics, it was survival. We learned to fight dirty, to use every advantage, to never surrender even when defeat seemed certain. Lily activated a communication array that had been dormant since the humans' arrival. While you've been fighting a losing war out here, we've been preparing. Every human colony, every Earth fleet, every ship in our merchant marine has been retrofitted and repositioned. We've been studying the Voidborn, learning their patterns, waiting for the right moment. Waiting for what moment? General HFY rumbled. Jackson smiled grimly. For you to fail. For the enemy to overextend themselves. For hope to fade completely. The command center's main display suddenly flickered as Lily's enhanced communication array went online. Instead of the tactical readouts showing the Voidborn advance, the screen now showed empty space. The void between the spiral arms where no civilized species dared venture. You see, Admiral, while your fleets engaged the Voidborn in honorable combat, humanity did what we do best, Jackson continued. We cheated. The void began to change. Pinpricks of light appeared in the darkness, growing brighter and more numerous with each passing second. The assembled alien commanders leaned forward, their various sensory organs straining to comprehend what they were witnessing. Impossible, Zethkar whispered. 3,000 ships, Lily announced, her voice steady despite the magnitude of what she was revealing. Every human vessel capable of mounting weapons, freighters converted to missile platforms, passenger liners turned into troop transports, mining ships equipped with kinetic bombardment systems. We didn't build a traditional fleet, we built a swarm. Jackson pulled up detailed schematics showing the human vessels. Unlike the elegant, symmetrical designs favored by galactic civilization, these ships were ugly, functional things bristling with weaponry and armor plating. They looked more like flying fortresses than traditional spacecraft. But how did you hide such a massive fleet? Commander Vexana demanded. Our sensors would have detected any buildup of this magnitude. We didn't build them in one place, Jackson replied. They were constructed in the deep cold in asteroid fields in the outer reaches of every human system. Small shipyards, mobile construction platforms, anything to avoid detection, and we used a tactic our enemies would never expect. The display zoomed in on the approaching human armada. Each ship bore identical signatures, identical energy patterns, identical tactical profiles. They all looked the same, General Hrokhtha observed. Exactly, Lily said. Mass production. Standardized components. No artistic flourishes, no species-specific designs, no individual ship personalities. Every vessel in that fleet can be repaired with parts from any other vessel. Every crew member can operate any station on any ship. It's the most boring, efficient, soulless fleet ever assembled. And it's exactly what we need, Jackson added. The Voidborn have been winning because they can predict your tactics, exploit your species' cultural preferences, turn your diversity against you. But they've never faced an enemy that deliberately removes all individual identity from warfare. Admiral Zethkar stared at the approaching human fleet, his mind struggling to process the implications. You're using our desperation as cover, waiting until we're beaten, until the enemy believes victory is assured. The Voidborn are advancing in a victory formation, Jackson confirmed. Their ships are spread out to control maximum territory, their attention focused on the remaining Council fleets. They have no idea what's coming from the void behind them. Lily's communication board erupted in activity as encrypted human frequencies came online. Fleet Admiral Torres is requesting tactical coordination with Council forces. She's prepared to implement what they're calling Protocol Stalingrad. What's a Stalingrad? Zethkar asked. Jackson and Lily exchanged a look that spoke of shared human history, of bitter lessons learned through centuries of conflict. It's when humanity stops pretending war can be civilized, Jackson said quietly. When we remember that sometimes the only way to defeat a monster is to become something the monster fears more than its own death. The human WarArmda burst from the void like an avalanche of metal and fury, 3,000 ships moving in perfect coordination toward an enemy that had never known defeat. As the first human missiles began lighting up the darkness, Jackson could see something change in the alien commanders around him. Not just hope, but recognition. Humanity had arrived not as saviors, but as the galaxy's reminder that sometimes the most dangerous thing in the universe isn't the monster lurking in the dark. It's the species that learned to hunt monsters.